Let's get straight to the point. Number 7. The printer ink extortion racket. Let's talk about the worst gadget lurking in your house. The printer. It's basically the only thing that seems to sense pure fear. You pick one up for $40, which seems like a good deal, only to realize you just signed a tiny contract with the devil. The ink inside those cartridges costs more per gallon than fancy champagne, or even human blood, no cap. But the sneakiest part is the empty warning. You know when it stops printing black because it claims the cyan is running low. That's annoying, and it only gets worse. Most cartridges have a tiny chip that keeps track of every page you print. Once you reach a certain number, the chip tells the printer the ink is finished, even if the cartridge is still half full. That means you're tossing perfectly usable ink because a microchip fed you bullshit. On top of that, many printers have a hidden failsafe called a waste ink pad counter. After a set amount of prints, the printer simply locks itself up with a vague error message, forcing you to throw away a machine that actually still works. It's extortion, plain and simple. Number 6. The battery trap you can't escape. Let's talk about the glowing rectangle you're probably staring at right now. Your smartphone. You treat it like a fragile newborn with expensive cases, tempered glass, and constant protection, but after a couple of years, suddenly that lightning-fast device starts dragging, shutting down at 30% battery and crashing apps for no reason. Is it just old age? Nope, that's planned slowdown. Remember the Batterygate scandal? Apple actually admitted to throttling older iPhones through software updates. But the real trick is in the hardware itself. Remember when you could just pop the back off a Nokia and swap the battery for a few bucks? Try that now without a heat gun, special screwdrivers, and hands steady enough for surgery. By gluing the battery inside a sealed glass sandwich, manufacturers made sure that when the lithium-ion chemistry eventually wears out, it's easier to spend $1,000 on a new phone than to fix the old one. It's not sleek design, it's a literal expiration date disguised as a touchscreen. Number 5. The smart appliance trap. Head to the kitchen for this one. Your grandma probably still has a fridge from the Cold War era. It hums like a tractor, looks ugly, but will probably outlive all of us. Now compare that to your sleek stainless steel smart fridge with Wi-Fi and a touchscreen. It can tweet, check the weather, and play Spotify, but realistically, it's probably going to be dead in 5 to 7 years. This is the great appliance downgrade. Old machines ran on simple mechanical timers and heavy-duty gears. Clunky, sure, but nearly unkillable. Modern appliances, on the other hand, are full of cheap, delicate circuit boards placed right next to heat sources or vibrating motors. Total engineering suicide. Take washing machines, for example. Manufacturers used to bolt the drum together so you could swap bearings for 20 bucks. Now, the plastic drum is sealed as one unit. If a $10 bearing wears out, you can't fix it. You have to replace the whole drum, which costs more than buying a brand new machine. They sell you innovation, but really, it's a disposable computer that just happens to wash your socks until the motherboard fries from humidity.
Number 4. The fast fashion trap. Take a look inside your wardrobe. Have you ever bought a shirt just because it was trendy, worn it once, washed it, and ended up with something that looks like it was shredded by a wild raccoon? That's not your laundry skills. It's exactly how fast fashion works. In the past, clothes were made to last for years. Today, brands churn out 52 mini-seasons a year instead of the usual 4. To keep up, they swapped durable cotton for cheap synthetic fabrics. These low-quality blends and short-staple cotton peel, stretch, and lose their shape after a handful of washes. It's a clever trap. They price clothes so low that fixing a tiny tear or replacing a button feels pointless. Why bother when a brand new shirt costs only a few bucks? Fast fashion has trained us to treat clothing like disposable paper towels. You're not buying a shirt, you're renting a look for a weekend, knowing it will probably fall apart and hit the landfill, forcing you straight back to the checkout.
Number 3. The light bulb conspiracy that left us in the dark. Let's dive into one of the oldest engineering tricks ever, the humble light bulb. You've probably swapped out a few of these in your kitchen this year and wondered why they blow up right when you flip the switch. It wasn't always like this. In a fire station in Livermore, California, there's a bulb called the Centennial Light that has been glowing almost non-stop since 1901. That's over 1 million hours of light. So how did we end up with bulbs that barely last a year? Entered the big bulb cartel.
Back in the 1920s, the largest light bulb makers in the world, including GE and Philips, had a secret supervillain meeting in Geneva. They realized that if bulbs lasted forever, no one would buy replacements. Their solution? Cap the life at 1,000 hours. They even hired engineers specifically to weaken the filaments on purpose. Think about that for a second. Some genius spent their entire career figuring out how to make something worse just to get a few extra bucks out of your pocket. This is literally why bulbs today don't last like the old ones. They were literally forbidden to do so.
Number 2. The indestructible stockings trick. If you wear tights or know someone who does, you've probably freaked out seeing a run appear before even leaving the house. It's like they'll tear just from staring at them too hard. But back in the 1940s, DuPont launched the first nylon stockings, and they were basically unbreakable. The early ads said they were strong as steel, and for once, they weren't lying. Some of the first prototypes were so tough, you could even use them like tow ropes. Here's the issue that freaked out the executives. Once every woman in America owned a pair, sales stopped growing. Why buy a second one if the first could survive almost anything? The bosses panicked and told the chemists to go back to the lab, not to improve, but to weaken it. They messed with the formula so the fibers would break faster from sunlight and friction. So the next time your tights ladder, don't blame yourself. It wasn't you being clumsy, you were caught in a deliberate chemical trap designed to keep selling more pairs. Here we are at the final showdown, the right to repair. Big companies like John Deere and Apple have dumped millions into lobbying to make it illegal for you to fix your own stuff. They treat repair manuals like top-secret files and make screws that look like alien code. Why? Because any independent repair shop is a hole in their money machine. But things are changing. People are realizing that sustainable marketing is a joke if your gadget ends up in a landfill 18 months later. So next time your toaster blows up or your phone slows to a crawl, don't just swipe your card blindly for a new one. Get mad. Fight for right to repair laws. Learn how to handle a screwdriver. The only thing that should be outdated is the idea that we have to take this crap. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and try not to break anything on your way out. If you like the video, hit that like button before your screen decides to freak out. Share it with a friend who's currently cussing at their printer, and subscribe for more deep dives into the chaos of modern life. Stay chill, and I'll catch you in the next one.